It was a day I had anticipated my whole life. I grew up always hearing people talk about how college is the best 4 years of your life. But I wondered if this would be true for me. As senior year of high school arrived and college became more and more of a reality, my fears and excitement grew exponentially. Even though I had always planned on going to college, when the few months before my departure came, I was almost in denial that I was actually leaving. I woke up to a loud beeping sound coming from the alarm clock sitting on the nightstand next to me. Within a few seconds, the reality hit me that this would be the last time I would wake up in my big comfy bed for several months. My stomach began to churn, and 1,000 thoughts filled my head as I realized I was about to officially become a college student. After eating breakfast, I packed the last of my belongings and stepped into my garage to see my car packed to the brim. Suitcases of clothes, a mini fridge, and some of my favorite old movies, books, and even stuffed animals filled every last inch. It was a strange feeling to see everything I owned packed up. The 4-hour car drive, squished between my brother and a pile of dorm necessities, felt like it would never end. A corner of a mirror jabbed me in the leg, my feet hurt, and I felt as if we would never get there. But within a few hours, we did make it. Suddenly, everything was becoming so real. There were people, cars, and dollies everywhere I looked. I couldn't believe I was actually moving into my college dorm. I remember thinking that I needed to get to my room as fast as possible before my roommate stole all the good space. It turned out that shouldn't have been a concern of mine. There was no good space. This was the smallest room I had ever seen. Walking in the door, I felt like I was entering a dungeon or a prison cell. Mom? Dad? I couldn't believe my parents were leaving me there. Later that evening, after my parents and brother left, I got dinner on campus for the first time. As I walked into the dining hall, I felt like a lost puppy. With cash registers blocking every entrance to the food vendors, I couldn't figure out how to get to the food, let alone what I wanted to eat. Looking around and hearing the buzz of people talking all around me, I felt like a stranger in a room of 1,000 people who had already found their best friends. That night, as I laid in my new, extra-long, twin-size bed for the first time and stared at my white brick walls and suitcases of still unpacked clothes, I felt like I was at camp, not home. My head began to fill with 1,000 thoughts, just as it had when I woke up in my bed at home that morning. For some reason, I couldn't force myself to get past all the negative feelings I was having, to think about all the amazing things I had to look forward to. I just kept wondering, would I ever fit in here? Would I make friends? Would my roommate and I be able to coexist? Would I flunk out of my classes? My college move-in day was far from the glamorized event I expected it to be.